Hi there, Charles Marcello. We're here with Celebrating Culture. I'm with Stephanie Marie Louise. Stephanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be with you.
So Stephanie, tell me, you live on Esplanade. You're very familiar with the Beauregard.
Very familiar.
Now, why are you so familiar?
My great-great-great-aunt was Caroline DeLande Beauregard. So she was Beauregard's second wife.
There's a lot of stuff going on in New Orleans about the statue, in particular Beauregard, and he has just got a history that's unbelievable. I understand it took 20 years to raise the money to build it.
It did. It was a very dedicated effort on the part of war widows, veterans, children of soldiers.
What are some of the highlights of his life?
Well, not only was he a West Point graduate and the general who fired the first shot of the Civil War, he was also a man who worked for equality in the city. He worked to bring the railroads to the city. He came home penniless from the Civil War and dedicated himself to the betterment of all of the people of New Orleans.
Desegregation was a big part of his life?
Desegregation and equal voting rights, very important.
He was way ahead of his time, like 100 years basically.
Absolutely. But coming from a Creole culture, we have a history of collaborating. We have a history of working together in the business community, militarily. Very famous Creoles of color were generals that were in the Battle of New Orleans.
Now I understand also Beauregard, the customs house, even submarines. I think he was an engineer that just designed so much stuff.
He was an engineer. He was a very brilliant man. I hesitate to say a jack of all trades, but he was extremely accomplished. And again, another one of his passions were railroads. And it was so important as the railroads were coming in, it was going to displace some of the river commerce. So to invest in the railroads for Louisiana was very important with keeping our economy current.
Right now we're talking about jobs in Louisiana and the oil industry. So Beauregard was saying, we're gonna lose the river, we need to start getting railroads going. And fittingly, his statue actually ends at the streetcar line.
Yes, it does.
I mean, like you go to City Park, you started uptown New Orleans, you end on the streetcar at his statue. It's also been invigorating because there's groups that have been working on the monuments for 60, 70 years.
Oh, yes.
So this isn't anything new.
The Monumental Task Committee has quite a history in New Orleans of preserving all of the monuments of New Orleans.
There's 200 monuments, I understand, in New Orleans.
I think that's about the number. We are a city that loves our history.
Once a month, the Monument Task Force takes a monument and they go clean it, they landscape it. Fabulous work that they're doing.
They raise all of the money themselves. Donations come from concerned citizens, New Orleanians, and others who live in Louisiana and all over.
If you're in the French Quarter, we're at the Beauregard House now, and it's a great place to come learn about Beauregard because he actually became the superintendent of West Point on a Monday, and on Wednesday, Louisiana seceded from the Union, and on Friday, the War Department fired him. You know, he was superintendent of West Point for 3 days before the war started, and it was just amazing, this man's history. And also, we were up in Shreveport, and Centenary College has the books where a Creole poet gave his eulogy.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a beautiful poem about the last warrior and a tribute to him. He was a man who was really a visionary and looking to build New Orleans together as one culture.
The prosperity of all New Orleanians was his concern.